An assassin. What does it truly mean to be one? Is it simply a man or woman who kills? Or someone who kills with a hood on or using a hidden blade? Someone who's good at parkour perhaps? No. The status of being an assassin is something much higher and greater than that. A person who fights for what's right and justice no matter the personal cost. Dedicated to the greater good till their dying breath. Someone who learns to rise above vendetta and vengeance and let go of the personal wants and desires and walk the path of an assassin like a true saint. Unfazed by greed and hate. Unshakable in their resolve. Like a mountain that no one could ever conquer. If anyone ever asks you what a real assassin is, make them hear the first part so that they know for certain. Unfortunately, in recent years, men and women have come along who really are just second-rate knockoffs of what it means to be a true assassin. Excuse me. We have seen people with such tremendous characters that despite the fact that all of the protagonists are fictional, we could take them as shining examples of what it means to be a person of honor. That kind of writing and execution is becoming increasingly rare these days. Thankfully, if we look back, all we see is the best. But who is without a doubt the best? Pure assassin, and who's just pretending to be one by wearing a hood or carrying around a hidden blade. Now I'm gonna exclude Ivor and Cassandra, obviously, because they never identified themselves as assassins, so including them is like forcing a Hummer tire onto a cycle. It has no business being there. Now before we begin, if you like Assassin's Creed videos, subscribe to the channel. And if you enjoy the video, please leave a like. It helps tremendously, it's free, it's easy, support a brother from the Creed. And now let's get on with the list. Number 9, Edward Kenway. Yes, it may, there's no denying that Edward till his dying days was a sailor and a pirate first and then an assassin. That's not to say that he didn't have an impact or was unworthy of the moniker as much, but a pure assassin, not by a long shot. And it's not like the Aquaman cares, you know. He wanted to get rich and be a mighty powerful man and was focused beyond imagination to achieve all of that, and voila, he did. For the longest time, Edward ignored his responsibilities and the greater good for personal gain and outright greed. And that means he's as far from a pure assassin as we've seen in the franchise. Next, number 8, Jacob. A brute who wears a hood and calls himself as an assassin. But he barely represents the best of them. Yeah, some people find him funny. Some find his lighthearted nature to be a breath of fresh air in the otherwise serious tone of the games. But he's just as far away from the actual foundations of an assassin as Edward. Okay, maybe a little less, which is why he's one spot higher than Mr. Kenway, because he did fight for the right things for a really long time, but in his heart of hearts, he was always a savage who wanted to fight people, crack jokes, have fun and build his own entourage, aka the Rooks. Sounds like every other YouTuber today. Not a pure assassin, no sir, barely one in fact. Next, number 7, Arno. Arno should have been a lot higher. To be honest, the setting and the backdrop of Unity were amazing, and the developers had a rare opportunity to create perhaps the next best untainted assassin after nearly a decade. Arno had the heritage, most definitely had the skills, but whoever thought that the love story that brewed between him and Elise should take the center stage, well, just deserves to be outright fired. What a bad decision, because that one choice has turned Arno into a self-pitying, sorrow, downright sad son of a bitch that never got over a woman. As far as the bigger picture goes, our beloved Frenchman couldn't care less, because on multiple occasions we see him running after Elise, quite literally, rather than focusing attention towards more important things. Well, what can I say? Love is blind, I guess. But so was Arno to things that were critical. Next, number 6, Evie. Now, before I start talking about her, I have to tell you that I think I'm in love with Evie. I cannot get over this smart-mouthed, incredibly skilled, unbelievably beautiful woman for some reason. Well, I hope I don't go blind in love like Arno did. But with that being said, Evie was always destined to be a better assassin than Jacob. Not a better killer or a fighter, but a better assassin. She had the skill set, the patience, the moral code, all that good stuff and more. It's abundantly clear that Jacob was the muscle and Evie was the brains. And an assassin is more about the brains than the muscle any day. She's also mastered at killing without detection and shedding much less bloodshed or creating ruckus, which is what the assassin life is all about, killing them softly. Next, number 5, Connor. Our boy from Kani and Kahaka probably had the best heritage in the entire series. Grandson of a legendary assassin, son of an even more fabled Templar, with skills and strength that would terrify even the worst. Connor is a different breed. The reason he's slightly low on the list, I mean, 5th isn't bad at all, but you know what I mean, is because he wasn't as low bloodshed as some of the others. Don't misunderstand what I'm saying, because it's evident that he prefers not killing on many occasions, but sometimes the man just broke loose. Okay, maybe more than a few times, and when he did, the man turned into a monster. Well, chopped limbs and decapitated bodies aren't really what the assassins do, you know. But as far as fighting for the greater good goes, Connor will always be top tier. Next, number 4, Bayek. Another top of the line killer, Bayek was always bound to be in the upper echelon of the lot. I originally had him a lot higher, but then I realized for the longest time, Bayek and I were mostly focused on finding the sun's killer, which I really don't blame them for. I mean, anybody in their shoes would do the same, but that doesn't fit well with the foundations of the assassins. I do understand that these two were the people who set said foundations, but hey, there were others who walked the path more religiously. Just because Bayek did it first doesn't mean he did it better. But then again, the Egyptian has sacrificed more than most men in history for the greater good, aka leaving his wife Aya. I mean, look at her. Look at her. Look at her. That automatically propels him to the 4th spot. Next, number 3, Ezio. This list makes me realize that the earlier games, or rather the writers, really understood the essence of an assassin. Calm, meticulous, organized, and most importantly, humane. Ezio is the only person on this list that was extremely close to the foundations of the assassins, and also led a great life at the same time. Few men have ever been able to balance both sides as well as our beloved Italian. And at the same time, few have ever been as feared as they were loved in history. He was an absolute demon to the wrongdoers and a total messiah to those who were righteous. I know it sounds too black and white, but the execution has been nearly perfect. So although it seems too good to be true, for once it is. Next, number 2, Shay. Well, time for controversy. And this is also the part that many are gonna press dislike and get the hell out of here. People are definitely gonna have a problem with me excluding Cassandra and Ivor because they didn't identify as assassins, but including Shay, who was a full-blooded Templar. That's definitely gonna come up at some point, but please just hear me out once. First, Shay wasn't a Templar from the very beginning. Second, despite switching sides, he was an assassin, at least half of his being, because his training, his skill set and mentality were all reminiscent of the Brotherhood. And the third and the most important point, Templar or otherwise, he walked the path that the assassin elders had set. Path of righteousness. He sacrificed, killed his own friends and brothers, gave up everything he ever loved, all for the greater good of humanity, and in doing so, he also saved countless lives. I don't know about you, but that sounds like one noble assassin to me. As I said before, it's not about a hood or a certain skill, it's about an ideology, taking the high road and doing what's right no matter the cost. That's what makes a man a true assassin, and Shay was all of that and more. And now, number 1, Altair. I'm sure most people saw this coming, and those same people would be right. The original assassin. In our timeline, not Assassin's Creed's, our beloved mentor is the perfect shining example of what it means to be an assassin. He gave up everything, even his life, all for the greater good. And nobody, and I repeat, nobody has fought longer and harder, being true to the creed no matter how much pain they're in, without diverting from the objective in history. He was the OG assassin and laid the perfect foundation for generations to come, killing with minimum bloodshed and maximum efficiency, keeping his cover intact at all times, only killing when necessary, becoming wiser with every failure, teaching the next generation, making the Assassin Brotherhood a global syndicate. Every move he made and every action he has ever taken is for the people and the greater good. There is no doubt in my mind that Altair is the best pure assassin to have ever existed. And with that, we reach the end of the video, guys. Tell me in the comment section below who you think is the best pure assassin in history. Like the video, share it with your friends, all that good stuff, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. That's it for today. Stay safe, stay strong, and stay tuned. It's your boy VZX signing out.